Hey love bugs, welcome back to another Tarot Lover Reviews. Today we are taking a look at the Mood Tarot by Natalie Merkai. Now, if you've heard of this tarot deck or you haven't heard of this tarot deck, hopefully this review and the flip through that comes afterwards helps you to decide on whether or not this tarot deck is right for you. Now, if you want to take a look at the flip through, go straight to the flip through. Feel free to look down in the description below. I break down all the suits into chapters to make it easier for you to locate exactly where in the flip through you would like to start. But right now we're going to talk about the guidebook. We're going to talk about the packaging. We're going to talk about the cardstock, backing, the texture, the naming convention, the imagery, all the things. So if you're interested in all the details, stick around. Otherwise, feel free to move on over to the flip through. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So we saw the first part here, and it's a very nice soft yellow color. The website is here, but I will include it in the description down below. And then the packaging opens like it's so, kind of like a crayon box, okay? Very thick packaging, which is fantastic. It lets me know that my cards will be well protected in this packaging should it fall to the floor, right? So this is your packaging. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the guidebook. So there is none. This is, and we're going to talk about it more, it is based off of the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. So you can technically utilize any guidebook that you have. You can purchase a guidebook separately and be able to utilize that guidebook for this tarot deck. So that's why I wanted to mention the fact that you don't get a guidebook in this particular one. So that being said, let's skip right on into the cards. The backs of the cards is the same color as your packaging. That soft yellow, soft off white, and then the dark gray for the outline of, kind of looks like a diamond, but standard tarot card size. I was trying to say that way too fast. Standard tarot card size. I do have a regular Rider-Waite-Smith card here, and you will see that they are basically the same. They are exactly the same, so there is no difference. Cardstock. The cardstock has a difference, okay? It is a plastic, kind of like a laminate. So it is extremely flexible. And what's nice is that the reason why they did this was so that you can make your tarot deck waterproof. So that's fantastic as well. I love that idea. The only thing that I don't like with it being that laminate feel is that it's a thinner plastic. So I feel like I have a very hard time in trying to keep a handle on all the cards because they move around and slip and slide all over the place really easily because of that plastic feel. But still, if you tend to be around liquids a lot, you tend to read around liquids a lot, this deck would come in handy because it's waterproof. The only thing that's not waterproof is the packaging. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's see, we talked about the size, we talked about the backing, and we talked about the cardstock. Let's talk about the imagery first, which we've kind of already talked about. It does have the same imagery as the Rider-Waite-Smith. The colors are just a little bit more enhanced. So the colors are a little bit more vibrant, but they're still the same. And I feel like you're zoomed in a little bit more with these cards. So when you're looking at the flip through, you're going to notice that you're kind of zoomed in to a lot of these cards. You don't see so much of the background with some of them. So that might be a really good thing, especially when you want to get more focused on the details of certain things, certain figures, characters within that card. That would help. But yeah, imagery is exactly like the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. So if you're not adventurous enough in order to get away from the Rider-Waite-Smith and you want something just a little bit more fun, this would be something that would be right up your alley. Now, as far as the naming convention, so let's talk about this. So the naming convention is not based off of the Rider-Waite-Smith naming convention. This tarot deck is meant to be funny. It's meant to be sassy. It's meant to be disgustingly insulting at times. And I love that. That's why I gravitated towards this tarot deck, because it has this sassiness to it and it says it on the cards. So not only are you getting the standard Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, you're actually getting these little conversation bubbles next to each of the characters that either tell you what they're thinking or what they're saying. And majority of them are absolutely hilarious. Now, some of them I don't quite get the punchline because of where this particular deck comes from on the other side of the world for me. So some things that you find humorous may not necessarily hit in other countries. But I mean, still, it's hilarious to look at and to kind of put together the fact that they're actually saying this in the cards, but it's hilarious. As far as the naming convention, like I said, does not go based off of the Rider-Waite-Smith naming convention, which is totally fine because you know exactly what that card is. And it's kind of nice to get a fresh, different take on that card itself. So just to kind of give you an idea, the Empress is Maum. That's it. Maum down at the bottom. And then you see the little conversation bubbles. The Emperor is Daddy. The Fool. I'm not going to say it, but y'all see it. All of the minor arcana does not have any numbers. There's no numbers on the cards. So that might be something that might make it a little bit harder for you, especially if you're just learning, and you're trying to find the differences between each of the cards and associating them correctly. You might find it a little bit difficult with this tarot deck, but yeah, there is no names, no numbers on the minor arcana except for the aces. And let me see if I have an ace. Do I have an ace in here that I can show you? Yes, I do. Here is the Ace of Swords. So it gives you an idea of what you can expect. But yeah, the information, the words that they put on these cards are hilarious, and I feel like it gives the cards a whole new vibe to them. I feel like it gives them a whole new life. It gives you a different way to read that particular card, unlike the other ways that you typically read it, which is fantastic. I'm always looking for other ways to understand and interpret a card differently, which is why I have so many tarot decks. But yeah, the only thing about this whole purchase process has nothing to do with the cards themselves, and everything to do with the customer service when it came to purchasing this deck. When you're a deck creator and you are selling your own decks yourself, you are the face of your brand. And if you cannot provide information, updates, something, acknowledgement, it makes the purchasing experience a little difficult. Especially if you want to become a return client or customer and you don't want to because of the experience that you had. Has nothing to do with the cards, but everything to do with customer service. And I am big on that. That is what I do for a living. And I don't feel right when I leave anything unanswered. You know what I mean? So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. That's the only thing, the only bad experience that I had or felt with this particular purchase was the customer service that came behind it. The deck is fantastic. Besides the type of vinyl laminate that they chose, everything else is fantastic. It's just those two pieces. But other than that, guys, I hope this helped. If it has, leave a like and check out my channel. See if there are any other tarot decks that you might be interested in taking a look at. And yeah, without further ado, here is the flip through. Enjoy, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.